This is the first webinar in a series of webinars that will help you become more productive and get a greater return on your investment from the 2015 International Home and Houseware Show. A quick reminder that this webinar is being recorded and will be put on our website, so if any of your colleagues need to listen to this webinar, it will be available to them as well, both the PowerPoint and the audio. The presenters today are myself, Perry Reynolds,
Debbie Teschke,
and
Nancy Michael.
And all of our contact information is there, as we will repeat at the end of the webinar. We are open to and would encourage you to bring any questions that come to mind after the webinar to any of us. We'd be happy to answer them. Again, you're free to submit questions during the webinar using your chat functions. We will answer them as we can, or at the end of each section of the webinar. But I'd like to get started and talk a little bit about your plan for the show and how important it is to have one and to work that plan. Those of you who are here, obviously, are interested in planning ahead because we're way ahead of the show and you're already ready to listen to some of the opportunities that we have for you. It is important that you be specific and realistic, that most importantly that you use the resources that we're going to talk about here today, and that you create a follow-up plan in advance. We'll talk about each of those things as we go along. We know what you want to do, or at least we think we do. You want to increase sales. You want to grow your market share. Some of you want to test new products against the audience. This is the best opportunity to do that, and here are some of the things that we can help you do. We can help you find new customers. We can help you reach international markets. We can help you develop key top-to-top relationships with retail partners, and we can help you generate consumer interest, and Debbie's going to talk about that in just a few minutes. We're going to talk, generally speaking, about how to attract buyers, how to use our #1 communication tool, Housewares Connect 365, and then how to reach the consumer. As I said, Debbie will mention that in a few minutes. The first and probably most important item here is that thing that's right in front of you. That is a marketing kit. That went in the mail to you this week. It should be on your desk shortly in paper. It is currently available to you at www.housewares.org/marketing. All of the information we're going to talk about in the next 45 minutes to an hour will be available to you, and fulfillment details will be available to you at that site on our website. And some of the materials that will help you fulfill will be arriving in the mail as well, if you'd like to do it that way. First, let's talk about attracting buyers. I think we provide you with, that is to say, the Houseware Show provides you with probably the most comprehensive methods of attracting buyers, and we want to go through each of them. We're going to divide them into 3 easy-to-understand groups: what you can do before the show, what you can do during the show that will require some action before the show, and what you can do to follow up when we get back after the 10th of March and you've got all those leads, and how do you manage them. So first things first, before the show there are the 4 things we're going to talk about. The 2014 show buyers list, and Debbie will also talk about the media list later. Something that we call 3 touches, and we'll give you a little background on that. The innovation alert, and Housewares Connect 365, which I think is an extremely valuable tool for you. Let's start with the buyer list. There are 2 buyer lists available to you, one U.S. and one non-U.S., one international. They're both available to you at no charge. They are Excel files, making them easily sortable. They contain all of the information, virtually all of the information the buyer told us about himself or herself when they registered for the show in 2014, including the retail channel they belong to, their responsibility in their company, and the products they have come to the show. They came to the show last year to look for. That's directly off the registration record. You can download the list at the URL right in front of you. One thing that you will immediately notice when you go to this list is that emails are not included on that list. We will talk to you a little bit later about a couple of ways you can get buyer emails at the show, but the buyers have specifically requested that we not share their emails. We know you'll take good care of that email, but there are a lot of people who will be spamming them, and they certainly don't want that to happen. So the email is not available to you through this list, but as I mentioned, we'll show you later on how you can get those email addresses. This is the single most important tool that's available to you, and for those of you who exhibit over a number of years, I think you'll find that this list, if you build it over a couple of years, as we've been doing since 1999 here, will give you a very comprehensive list of the buyers that are available, that are out there in the industry. We, as I have mentioned in the past, have bought lists before. This still continues to be the best list available. We don't buy any lists anymore because this is the best list. Let's talk a little bit about how you use this list and how you can maximize the use of this list. We ran across an exhibitor a couple of years ago who was new to the show, very gung-ho about getting buyers to their booth, and they told us that what they did was something called 3 touches. They actually touched each buyer that they wanted to see at the show 3 times. I walked by their booth several times their first show and couldn't even get in the booth. They were so busy. And here's what they did. They did phone calls to key buyers. They did mailings to key buyers, including senior folks who were who they actually, in some cases, sent samples. And by the way, even fax. Believe it or not, you've got a fax machine in your office. I bet it rarely ever goes off. It's a pretty big deal now when the fax machine goes off. So don't neglect the fax, and you do get the mail. You do get the phone number and the fax number on that buyer list. So make sure that you put them to good use. Again, touch them 3 times. You're much more likely to get them to your booth. Another way you can reach them before the show is through something called the Innovation Alert. That is a part of the new product showcase process, and I will talk to you about it a little bit later about how to be a part of it, but I will let you know that 10 days before the show, we send an email list of all of the new products that are in the new product showcase to all 40,000 buyer emails that we have in our system. It is the name of the product, the name of the company, and their booth number, no pictures. So your competitors don't get to see your product in advance of the show if they happen to get a hold of this, but it is a way to let both the buyers who are coming and the buyers who are not there know what kind of new products are available at the show. The second most important tool, rapidly moving up on the buyer list, is Housewares Connect 365. It is a dynamic online tool. It now is 5 or 6 years old here. It's extremely well used, and it's free. I want to tell you a little anecdote about Housewares Connect 365. We were at a meeting in Seattle about a month or 2 ago, and the meeting had buyers and sellers in the meeting, and we asked the group who used Housewares Connect 365, and every buyer in the room raised his or her hand, and only about 1/3 of the exhibitors did. Those buyers are using this tool. You should use it because there were more than 1 million searches on it, some even done by consumers. And it's important that you update your listing because listings with catalogs, product images, and videos were viewed 75% more frequently than those without. So we're going to talk about a couple of things as we go through the Housewares Connect 365 piece. I will share with you that we'll have another webinar next week that's more in depth on how to use Housewares Connect 365. So keep looking for that email about that webinar. But we will touch on the high points here, and we'll do an overview. We'll talk about how buyers and media use it, and then we'll talk about how to enhance your free listing and a little bit about how it interfaces with our mobile app.
So just to parlay here what Perry's talking about, everything that you feed into the Housewares Connect 365 database or to your company portal, that will actually translate onto the mobile application that will be downloadable for showtime. People use that on the show floor to find you, etc. So just keep that in mind when you're populating and if you have any changes. And we'll talk about the directory inclusion shortly.
Okay, on to our next slide. This can help you in a number of ways, and I think we've hit most of them, but it certainly, you can increase your searchability before the show. We also have, on a year-round basis, 500,000 unique visitors to our website, and of course this is available to them year-round, so we encourage you to look at it year-round, but the million searches is probably the most important reason you can add a description. I would encourage you, when adding a description, to make sure that you spell check it. Add catalogs, product images, videos, your company's logo, in-booth information. Let us show you how to do all of that. First of all, here's where you go to do that. This is the link. You will need your company ID and seniority number as your username and password here. If you have any questions about that, we'll tell you how to get that here in a minute. One other thing to note, there are other people out there that are selling access to guides. There are a couple of listed here on the screen. We never charge you for a directory, whether it's online or whether it's at the show. You are not charged for your listing in that directory. It's a part of your participation in the show. If someone approaches you and says they want to put you in a catalog and it will cost you money, read very carefully the contract they put in front of you. Everything that we offer to you is no charge. Now, this is the page, when you go to that link that we mentioned earlier, this is the page that you will come to, and it has the opportunity, as you can see, to put in your company ID and your seniority number. There's a link at the bottom of this page to the person on our team who's in charge of information here. And if you don't have your company ID and seniority number, Dawn Whitman, if you click on that link below, will be able to offer you that, get that for you. We also ask you for your name so that we can make certain that if somebody asks from your organization who made the last changes to the site, we have somebody's name in that spot. You can also find your company ID and seniority number at the top of your space contract. It's clearly printed on your contract. So now let's go through the items that are on that left-hand column. First, of course, is company address. The on-site contacts are the contacts, the sales contacts that will be at the show, and we offer you several. One U.S., one non-U.S. sales contact, one specialty retailer contact, and an additional contact for PR. You can put in your brands and licenses here, and that will make them searchable, and anybody who searches in the site for your brands, your licenses, will find you and everyone else who has that license and be able to find their products in case they want to do a license story in their store. Of course, the kinds of products that you have available, a company description, and this is where I think spell check comes into play. This is your chance to talk a little bit about your company, your history, whether you're having an anniversary, whether you talk about your founder, if you're a third, fourth, fifth generation company. This is a great place to talk about that. Buyers may not use it as much as news media, but it's very important for those folks to know a little bit more about your company. In addition, you can also, and I would encourage you to mention virtually any word in this listing that you think will make you more searchable. You'll have the opportunity to, every letter in, every word in your description is part of the keyword search. So look at that. It doesn't help you to repeat words. It doesn't make you any more searchable. You can load product images here, and we'll talk more about that next week and how to do that when we get to our webinar on Housewares Connect 365. But suffice it to say, you can load up your images on the site. You can drag and drop them to put them in the order you want them in. You can load product catalogs. There's one thing about product catalogs you should know. There's a maximum size, but the smaller it is, the more searchable it is, and the more open it is. One other thing to know about this is that this catalog is not part of the search criteria. Since it's in a PDF format, it is not searchable. Product images can be in JPEG or GIF and loaded up. Videos must be from YouTube. They have to be on YouTube. They can't be put in here any other way.
Also, just to note, this is a public site, so if you're going to load a catalog, you want to be cautious not to list your wholesale prices if you don't want consumers to see that information.
Okay, on to the rest. You can load your company logo, again, the same file formats. You can put in company news in the form of press releases. Press releases are put up as PDFs and as a consequence are not part of your searchability. You can put up video. We've had in the video that we mentioned that has to be YouTube placed. We've had people put in how-to. We've had them put in demo videos. We've had them put in videos from our press events in New York that Debbie will talk about. We've had them put in company founder stories. Anything that you think will make your company more appealing to a buyer that might come to this site. There's a couple of special marketing opportunities, including in-booth appearances. Debbie's going to talk a little bit about another opportunity that's here for a new product for the news media. When she gets to her part, we'll talk a little bit more about some of those additional opportunities like Made in USA and so forth when we get farther down into the webinar. Then you sign off and we say thank you, and but you're welcome to come back and update this at any time you'd like. It is there and live for you. As Nancy said, it's a public site, so be careful about the kinds of things you say there, and if there are things you don't want your competitors to know, make sure that you keep those things to yourself. Debbie will show you a way to show products to the news media that you won't want to show to your competitors when she speaks here in a minute. Deadline for inclusion in the show directory is January 27th. I would encourage you to make certain before January 27th that all of the information on Housewares Connect 365 is correct. You can continue after January 27th to add videos, photos. Some of you may want, right as the show opens, to add photos of products that you're debuting at the show. Feel free to do that as well. But all of your basic information should be checked and complete by January 27th to make sure that it's right in the printed show directory, which, by the way, about slightly over 50% of the buyers we surveyed said they still use heavily. Quickly, this tool helps buyers and media in a number of ways. Each buyer has an access to creating a personal briefcase in which they can save searches, they can create a custom floor plan, they can communicate with you based on the information you give us about your company email or your URL. They can access saved searches and their floor plan at the show. And of course, as we mentioned, they have year-round access to the entire industry through searching this site. Let me show you a little bit about what it looks like. This is the page that a buyer comes to. On the left is the way the page looks when they get there. On the right is if they exercise the drop-down menu. These are the kinds of things that they can search by. The vast majority of the searches are done by keyword, and that is the default, if you will. If you search somebody, you go to the next page and use, buyers and media use this tool to search for companies, products, brands, and special events. There are, if you look carefully there, you'll see that if there's an educational event, you can, or there's somebody cooking in the cooking theater, a buyer can also put them in their briefcase as well. So now we're going to go see what the buyer, the media, and in fact the consumer sees. This is what your work creates. So we searched for Casabella. Casabella happens to have two booths at the show, one in South and one in North. This is what the search resulted in. We can click on this on Casabella here and go farther into the site, but back up if you would just for a second, Nancy. If you see the plus sign on the right, that is how buyers add you to their briefcase, and we'll show you what that gives them in just a few minutes. Now on to the next. This is what the top part of Casabella's listing looks like. The little note on the right tells you something new that we've added this year. If this happens to be your listing and you're browsing it and you find that it's not up to par or what you want to say, you can link right there on the top and go back to that login page for Housewares Connect 365 that we talked about earlier, and it will give you the opportunity to update that information instantly. Of course, the buyer could click there, but they won't know your login, so they won't be able to do that. But this is what the top of Casabella's page looks like. The other part of their page it's a little longer than this format will hold, is a video that they have there that they have done, a professional video they've done, and photos of items of products that they're going to be bringing to the show. As you can see, the product categories that they have are there, their catalog is there, and their brands are listed below. Each of those word fields is searchable. The catalog, as I mentioned before, is not. I mentioned that little plus sign on the right-hand side. When a buyer clicks that plus sign, a buyer puts you in his or her briefcase. This buyer has put 6 exhibitors in the briefcase. This is what they see when they click on the Map My Exhibitors spot. They will actually have a map that shows them where these booths are at the show and how to navigate to them. As a consequence, they will be able to bring this with them to the show and make their show more productive. Some other ways that, again, one last thing about HouseTours Connect 365. We went through it very quickly. If you want a greater in-depth view of it, we'll have another webinar next week that will take us all the way through the nuts and bolts of how to get this job done. Now we'll move to during the show. There are a number of ways that you can make yourself known at the show. Most of them require activity in advance. And this is the list of them. We're going to go through them now. We offer very limited number of sponsorships. As a not-for-profit, our goal is to make sure that we have a level playing field for all exhibitors. But if some exhibitors want to help us provide services to buyers, we offer that opportunity to help the buyers with sponsorships to the buyers clubs. As you know, there's a buyers club in each building, and we want the buyers to have a place to rest and relax, and we do take sponsorships there because we provide services for the buyers there, such as snacks and beverages. The buyer lunch areas are an area that we hope that somebody will want to sponsor. As you know, we offer every buyer a free lunch each day of the show, and this helps us offset the cost of that. And of course, that brings a lot of buyers to the show, so if you're interested in getting your name out in your building, perhaps that's one of the sponsorships that you would like to take on. And if you're interested in the international attendees, we have an International Business Center that's on the floor in the North Building, and you're welcome to, and we would offer a sponsorship for that to help us defray those costs there as well. The New Product Showcase is, as we will be telling buyers in a webinar we're doing for them, it should be their first stop on the show floor. Gives you a chance to show off your new products to buyers and media. It's inside those buyers clubs I mentioned. It is only accessible to buyers and media. Your competitors can't get in there to look at it. Each item in the showcase is scannable. We will send you an email after the show to tell you the names and email addresses of each buyer who scanned your product in the New Product Showcase. You also, if you're in the New Product Showcase, you get an automatic entry into the 2015 IHA Innovation Awards if you get your product in by January 30th. We will also continue to accept products in the New Product Showcase after January 30th on a space available basis, but those products will not have access to the IHA Innovation Awards. I mentioned earlier the Innovation Alert. Every product that we have in the system 10 days before the show will be listed in that Innovation Alert that I mentioned we send out to 40,000 buyers around the world. It does cost, yes?
Before we get too much more into New Product Showcases information, we have a couple of questions on HouseWares Connect 365.
Sure, go ahead.
Somebody wants to know, can we add a link, like add us to your briefcase from other points on our page or from our own website where we can mention our booth number at IHA?
On your website, you can certainly encourage your buyers to do that, but it is not a linkable item. But yes, you can. That is to say, you can't link to their briefcase. You can certainly link to your listing, and I would encourage you to do that both on your website and in your communications in advance to the buyers you're talking to. Okay.
The next question: the briefcase map function, can that be viewed from the mobile app?
We are working on making that happen. It certainly is available, and it will probably be available for the 15 show. It will certainly be available for 16. The challenge is the scale of the mobile app versus the scale of the computer. But each buyer can go to any of the search stations at the show and download and print their map again if they wish.
And can exhibitors also create a briefcase within their login?
The briefcases are available to buyers and media.
Okay, and then next question. Can they get a list of buyers that have mapped our company via the plus sign on our Connect 365 listing?
Another thing that we have asked the buyers for, and they've asked us not to share.
Okay, and are briefcases available to everyone or only to buyers?
Buyers and news media are the ones that will benefit from briefcases.
Okay, thank you. That's all we have at this time.
Okay, great. I think that's it for the New Product Showcase. Let's move on to the innovation. This is what the New Product Showcases look like. As you can see, that buyer there is pointing to the card. That is scannable, and that's how the buyer creates his or her list. Many buyers tell us this is their first stop at the show, and Debbie will tell you media use it as well. And a lot of them use this to go find those unique products that they haven't seen before. The Innovation Awards now will be in its 4th year. Is based, as I mentioned, on products that are submitted for the New Product Showcase. There are 13 categories. We have a professional judging panel of designers and retailers. We'll make the award announcement at the show on Saturday afternoon, and we'll unveil the winners in the display in the Hall of Global Innovation. Again, the deadline for being considered for the IGN Innovation Awards is January 30th. This is what the display looks like, and this is what an innovation product looks like in the showcase up above there. And there on the right-hand side is the trophy that you will be able to take home if you're a winner.
Just a note as well, when you receive your marketing kit in the mail this week, there's basically 2 brochures. One of them is an explanation of all the opportunities we're going through on this webinar. And then there's a separate brochure that will take you through the New Product Showcase and the Innovation Awards. So you'll have plenty of information.
Okay, a couple of other opportunities that are free to you at the show that can get your products displayed. There are 2 additional displays. There are 2 displays in the Lakeside Center lobby adjacent to that Innovation Awards display. One is the Going Green display. Actually, we've had an interesting resurgence from the consumer in sustainable products. It is our goal to provide a clearinghouse for information, for materials, and for sustainable products that are available at the show in case buyers are looking for them, and they tell us they are. We ask an expert panel to help us because we're certainly not experts in all aspects of sustainability. So the products that are submitted are screened by an expert panel, and they help us select the products that will be on display in the Going Green display. In the display, as you can see in the next picture, next to each product will be your company name and booth number so that any buyer that sees your product in the display will be able to come back and find your booth. Again, the deadline for this is January 7, and we'll be looking forward to seeing your products displayed there at no charge to you. The second, and we were trying to decide yesterday whether this is the 13th or 14th year that we've partnered with Pantone, which is the worldwide authority on color, to create the Pantone Color Watch display at the show. This is an opportunity for you to check the Pantone color palette for actually 2016. Our slide says 2015, but 2016, and Pantone is going to make that available to you at no charge. It is not available yet, but will be shortly in the Marketing Kit website. Two things that happen here: even if you don't submit a product, you can find out what Pantone thinks the palettes of 2016 are going to be, that Lee Eisman will talk about at the show, and that will be on display in the Color Watch display with Pantone numbers, actually. But Pantone executives will make all the product selections. Products on display, again, will reference your booth number. And this is kind of what it looks like. You can see the signs there. Your company name and booth number are listed right next to your product. Again, January 7th is the deadline, and we'll have a Pantone person in here in late January to help sort through the submissions, and she will make the decisions on the products that go into the display. Another couple of ways that you can reach out to certain audiences at the show. We were, as we look back at the sort of the history or evolution of the show, one of the things that happened about 10 years ago is the show became a destination for independent and specialty retailers, and now is becoming even more of a destination for museum stores, for gift stores. Some of you might know, if you go look at that buyer list, the gift stores were the third largest segment of buyer attendance at the 2014 show. We expect that to do nothing but continue to grow. Some of those buyers express concern that they don't know which suppliers would like to sell to them. If you are interested in selling to specialty retailers, you already know that they have special requirements, special case packs, special order sizes, and so forth. If you're interested in selling to them, this program is free. There's a deadline of January 23rd, and the January 23rd deadline means that if you tell us by January 23rd and sign up for this program, we'll actually deliver your sign to the booth. If you miss the deadline, the signs are available at the floor manager's desk on show site, and you can pick up your specialty retailer program sign and button. There's also a button that you can give to the person who's most connected to what your deals are for independent and specialty retailers. So this is a program that I think will help you if you are focused on those independent folks. One thing the independent folks, and actually some of the larger folks have told us, is that they're oftentimes at the show to write orders. And when they see something, they, unlike the larger retailers, have an opportunity to buy. They're not constricted by open advice. They find something they really like. It's their decision. It's their store. And they can sometimes write orders. 50% of the exhibitors at the show reported writing orders with specialty buyers. We ask you to be prepared. We actually, in the marketing kit, include a sample order form. Certainly, you don't have to use this, but for those of you that don't have one, if you want to print off some copies of this and stamp your name on the top, feel free to do it. But at any rate, be ready to write orders, because buyers are at the show to write orders. And we'll talk a little bit more about order writing at the show in just a second. One additional opportunity that you should not miss, and those early birds of you that are here today, I think may already be aware of this, but something we used to call Buyer Connect, we now call My Leads. It's a lead retrieval and follow-up device or service. We have two opportunities this year that are actually no charge to you on a first-come, first-served basis. It is a limited supply. We have a limited supply of handheld scanners that will allow you to scan a buyer's badge and collect that information, collect the information from the buyer, or an iPhone, or excuse me, a phone application that will allow you to do the same thing, scanning the buyer's badge. Each one of them will give you a buyer email and media as well. So we presume that this is like a business card exchange. We presume that if the buyer lets you scan the badge, that the buyer is okay with you having their email address. So this is the second way to get that buyer's email address. We would encourage you to do this. Again, it's free. If you miss the deadline, you can buy these things, but why not take them free? And so again, there's a limited number of both. When you get your marketing kit, I would encourage you to say yes and get us that information. I will share with you that this system counted over 41,000 booth visits at the last show. You will get an email after the show, no matter which application you use, of all of the buyers who came to your booth to remind you of them. But in addition, the buyers in media also get a list of all of the booths that they went to at the show to remind them so that we can get that follow-up process moving. Another really simple one, and Nancy will point out to me that the back of that sign is not really yellow, it's white, but we have a graphic that seemed to tint it a little yellow here. But at any rate, this is a sign that says new for the home. Now you think, oh my God, this is the dumbest thing I ever heard. But we've seen these at shows as far away as Guangzhou, so we know that they are meaningful to someone. These signs are free to you. Again, if you let us know by February 13th, we'll make sure that we land those signs in your booth. Put it right next to your new products. We're going to tell buyers to look for those signs all over the show, and they will have the opportunity to walk into your booth and ask you about that new product. Again, these are also available at the floor manager's desks if you don't make the deadline or if you need more than the ones we deliver. Another opportunity that presented itself last year by buyer demand was that we help highlight Made in USA companies. We are happy to do that. The only prerequisite for this is that as a part of your Housewares Connect 365 sign-up, that you certify that you have products made in the USA. And we want you to certify it because buyers expressed concern that people would say they had it when they didn't really. They've seen that at other shows. We ask you to be forthright in your responses here. Buyers will very quickly find this out. But this is a great way to let them know that you have Made in USA products. A number of retailers have come to us and asked for this. In fact, we are working currently with Walmart on this. We have already sent them a list this year, up to this date, of people who are have products that are made in USA. They're sorting through that list. At this point, there are some 60 companies that are on the list that they don't currently have a relationship with. They're going to seek those people out on the floor. The deadline to get the sign delivered to your booth is February 13th, and it is not available on show site. But we also are going to, we have a slightly earlier deadline for you. We're also going to send Walmart another list of those Made in USA companies in the first or second week of January, and we would encourage you between now and then, if you have Made in USA product, to make certain that you mention that and certify that on Housewares Connect 365 so that you can be on the next list that we send to Walmart. Again, this is what the marketing kit looks like for your signage. It is free. Again, the only disclaimer here is that the Made in USA signs have to be certified in Housewares Connect 365. I mentioned order writing at the show earlier. Buyers have told us that they want to know who at the show has show specials. Of course, this incentivizes a buyer's visit to your show. I have an exhibitor friend who's been keeping me abreast of the success rate of his offerings of show specials. Last year, for the first time, he topped $200,000 of orders written at the show based on having show specials. We don't want you to tell us what they are. Buyers actually don't want, this is an open site, we certainly don't want your competitors to know what they are. We just want you to tell us that you have them, and there's a special dedicated search on Housewares Connect 365 that returns a list of all the companies that said they had show specials. We don't want to know your specifics. Now, we are done with the show. You're back home. You're about to figure out what to do with all those leads you've got at the show. How do you follow them up? You hopefully have created a plan in advance of the show that told you who you wanted to see at the show, who you didn't see at the show. Sometime in early April, we'll be delivering to you the 2015 buyer lists, edited, both U.S. and non-U.S. We hope that you will use what you learned at the show, what you got from your My Leads or your new product showcase leads that you got. Divide those up in such a way that you can share that with your sales team or whoever you have following these up, and use that 2015 list to target the companies that you might have missed at the show. We certainly want you to be able to reach out to those as you know, it's a large show, and not every buyer gets to every booth. So this is your chance to find those companies and to target them. Now I'm going to turn it over to Debbie.
Thank you, Perry. The 2014 show generated 350 million consumer impressions in the news media. Now, you're going to ask, what is a consumer impression? If you're a PR person or you're a PR agency listening in to the webinar today, you know, but for our exhibitors who don't, a consumer impression is the total Nielsen viewer number from any broadcast coverage we get from either TV or radio, plus the circulation from newspaper and magazine clips and like a viewer number from any internet articles. Then we simply add them up, and that's how we get the number of consumer impressions. Now, if you do work with a PR agency or an ad agency, some of them may multiply the number. They use a multiplier because they figure a magazine or a newspaper or something is passed along, and so they use a multiplier. We don't do that. Our number is pure. And I do know that it is actually a little bit higher than the 350 million. I haven't done a count lately of coverage that has come in newspapers throughout the summer and the fall. But we do have a substantial reach across the country, and we do want to help you be part of that coverage. Now, you may ask, do I do this all myself? No. I have a team of freelance PR professionals that work with me with the consumer media beginning in December and working through the show and at the show with them, and they help them with their stories. They provide them with product information, and they help them after the show as well. So that is why it's important that you take advantage of some of the services that we offer so we can help you be part of this media coverage.
I'm just going to add a little note. It's really important if you have something new and spectacular, if you're celebrating an anniversary, if you're launching a new product category, it's really important that you communicate that with your sales manager, because we also kind of work with Debbie and the PR team in letting them know, who's coming to the show with something new and exciting, et cetera. So keep us in the loop.
Definitely do that. This is the page in the Marketing Kit brochure with the media opportunities, and these are the services we'll be talking about briefly today. The details are on the website, on the Marketing Kit website, and most of the details are up there, so I would encourage you to go to housewares.org/marketing, click on the link so you can see all of the information. Now, today, as Perry did with the buyer information, we're going to talk about the services before the show, during the show, and after the show to help you increase the odds of getting some consumer publicity. So we have several before the show, and some of these you have to do before the show to get coverage during the show. And we have a press event, the media list, a traveling media tour, the new product information for the news media service that Perry mentioned earlier that goes into your Housewares Connect 365 listing, special events and product demonstrations or in-booth appearances, as it's noted in Housewares Connect 365. The trade publications want your new product information, and then we have a new service this year, online press kits. So we'll be covering all of those in the next couple of minutes. So the first event we have is the show preview press event. And if any of you have participated in our press events over the years, you know what a benefit that is and how you can meet the consumer media and the trade media in a few hours for a very reasonable price. The show event will be January 21st in New York City. And because you signed up for this webinar today, you can have advance notice to sign up. We just activated the web page for signing up this morning. So if you do go to the Marketing Kit page and click on the show press event link, you will go to the page and you can sign up. It is limited to 60 exhibitors. Last year we sold out 5 weeks after we announced it to the exhibitors, which we probably won't do in an email until next week. So if you do want to participate, I would encourage you to go there. You're getting a sneak peek. Go there this week and sign up. We have 50 to 60 consumer and trade editors who attend, And as part of your participation, we will film a brief demonstration video that we will post on our YouTube channel and on a post-event page. And as Perry mentioned, you can also link into your Housewares Connect listing for people to see you just talking about your new products. We do 3 events a year. We'll have the next one after January will be in New York. It's our Hot Housewares for the holidays. And we also are doing a press event in London this year as well. We started that last year, and it was very successful on a much smaller basis. But that is for anybody who is selling over in the UK, and it does attract about 35 to 40 UK consumer editors. Okay, next we have the show media list, and as Perry mentioned, it's on the same page with the buyer list. So you would go to the same link, and you need your show, your seniority number and a member ID to sign in and download it. If you are an agency, you will have to have the exhibitor download it for you, or if they won't give you that information, or get the login from them. And we encourage you to use this list to create your pitching list for the show. A lot of the same editors attend every year, so it gives you a very good indication of who will be coming to the show. And once again, this is free, and we do include the email addresses if they were provided for the media, from the media. The 2015 pre-registered list will be available in mid-February. I wait until we have a large amount of registrations, and then about a month before the show, we kind of close down the media registration, and then I take one last look to vet the media list to make sure it only is editorial news media on there, and then we make that available to you. So that will be sometime around mid-February. It will be on the same page as the 2014 list. We also have a traveling media tour, and this is one of the very few paid services that we offer. As Perry may have mentioned earlier, we offer a lot of free services, and a lot of the media services we offer are free, but there are a few things that you do have to pay for. And the traveling media tour will help you promote your products to the consumer. It goes in studio in 10 to 15 cities across the country, and the segment looks just like a news segment with a reporter explaining the products. The tour is limited to 6 to 8 companies, and you will have category exclusivity. A few spots are taken. There are several spots that are still left. So if you are interested, I would urge you to contact Gigi Lubin, who is the third-party vendor that does the tour for us. It will take place a few weeks prior to the show in late February or early March. It is the only media tour that is endorsed or officially endorsed by IHA. You may be solicited by other media companies that are selling tours or saying that they have the official Housewares program. They aren't. If the company is not listed in the exhibitor marketing kit, either on the website or in the brochure, then they aren't sanctioned by IHA. If you have any questions about companies that you've been contacted by, please feel free to contact me by email or give me a call, and I'm happy to talk about it with you. The deadline to sign up for the traveling media tour is January 31st. Now, you say, Deb, you have so many services. I've looked through the kit. You have a lot of services. We're a small company. We possibly can't do everything. So if that's the situation, this is the one service that I would really encourage you to take advantage of. It's free, and this is going to help you get some exposure to the media in several different ways. This is the new product information for news media, which Perry mentioned earlier. It is a listing that will go in your Housewares Connect 365 listing, and only the news media can see it through their briefcase. If a consumer goes to the listing, if you go to your listing, if a buyer goes to the listing, or a competitor just looks up your company on Housewares Connect 365, they will not see these new product listings. And you can enter the information via the Marketing Kit webpage, and we made it this way so that your PR agency can do it. You don't need your seniority number or ID number to do it. All you have to do is enter your company name, and as long as you have assigned booth space, you can enter the listing and the information, and it will go into your listing. You can do it either via the marketing kit, or there's a link on that Housewares Connect exhibitor entry page on your entry portal, where this is the marketing kit page. You'll click on the link, or there'll be a little box where you enter the company name, and that's how you will begin the process. Or if you click on the link under additional marketing opportunities on the show directory listing page, it will take you back to that marketing page, and then you enter the company name. So there's no barrier to entering these entries. You can enter as many listings as you like. We'll open these listings up to the media beginning in mid-February, and they will look at them through their briefcase. You can upload photos. I would highly encourage you to enter a product photo with the listing, because when the listing comes up, it shows the photo, and we're very visual, and most people will click on a listing that has a picture. Another benefit is the show PR team will include these listings they'll be reviewing the listings to look for products that we need for the media. As I mentioned to you earlier, the show PR team works with the consumer media, and as early as January, they start asking us for what's going to be new, what are the new products coming out. So the earlier you can enter this information, the better. We're still working on the page. We'll have the link activated in a couple of days, and then you can start entering your information. These listings will be up throughout the year, so the media can search for them throughout the year. And we just encourage you to do this. As I said, it's free. It offers you many different ways to get to the media. Another benefit is the PR team reviews these listings and looks for products that we would like to have samples of to show the media in the news center. So you may get a call from us in January or February asking for a sample to have in the news center to show the media, and that's because you entered it in this service. Okay. Another thing you need to do before the show to get the media during the show is the special events and product demonstration listing. And this is also called in-booth appearances in Housewares Connect 365. And this is how you would let the media know about the celebrity that you're going to have in your booth, or a designer, or any kind of special event. If we don't know about your event, we can't tell the media. And after, what's new, the second most question we are asked is, who's going to be at the show? So, we encourage you to do this. Again, on the marketing kit page, all you have to do is enter the company name. You don't need any special login for it, so your agency can enter the information. And it's free, and we ask you to do this by March 6th so that the information is in there before the show opens, but the earlier the better. Now, the trade publications are always looking for new products. And this is another free opportunity. It's an editorial opportunity that we'd like you to take advantage of. They have, many of them have pre-show issues and show issues, and they like to run little new product listings. So you can send them your information. Both domestic and international trade publications are looking for this information. The international publications will need it by December 31st, and those details are on the web page. One publication has a December 13th deadline, I believe. They have a very early deadline. And then the other internationals are by December 31st. The domestic trade publications would be January, maybe early February. So I encourage you to take a look at that page. It's a free editorial opportunity, and just send the editors your information. Okay. New this year is we will be offering an online press kit. And unfortunately, this is one of the paid services that we offer. But over the years, I've had questions, from PR agencies mostly, where can we upload our online press kits? And we haven't offered that. We've only taken, paper kits. But we have an agreement with Virtual Press Office, and they are going to set up a Housewares show page, and you can enter your press kits. And we have 2 packages available. One for small companies, it's $350, and you can upload 3 documents. So say 2 press releases and a photo, or a press release and 2 photos. So at least you will have some exposure. And then the larger kit, for $635, you can load up to 6 documents. There will be several other services available, such as PR Newswire distribution at a discount. So all that information will be up there. And then the media can download the press kit information before the show, during the show, or after the show. So if you don't want to do a paper press kit, you can do the online press kit.
Deb, is this a public site?
Yes, it is. Well, I think if somebody goes to PR Newswire, or if they're a subscriber to PR Newswire, they would find it. But otherwise, it's public in that sense, but it's not out there to the general public. So now I want to talk about the things you can do during the show News Center, and then if you don't know how to write a press release, we have a service that will help you do that. The News Center is the headquarters for the news media at the show. It's where they come to find your information, to find show information, new product information. We have computers. They can file their stories there. They can plan their show strategy. They can just kind of relax and take a break from the show floor. And this year, we are moving. We are, for over 20 years, we were located on level 2 of the North Building, and this year we are moving to level 4 of the South Building. So the News Center will be a little bit closer to the show floor, very convenient for the media once they have their badges, and easy for you to find us and to deliver your press kits if you are bringing them on site. And as I mentioned, we will put out the press kits for you. It's a free service. It's part of your booth space fee, so you don't have to pay anything additional. I know some shows do charge to put out press kits for the media. We don't. You can send us your press kits before, or you can deliver them by the Friday before the show. Be sure you put your company name on the cover, as they are displayed in plastic bins. This is what our wall looks like, how we display the kits. As you can see, we put them in plexiglass holders, and we do them alphabetically by company. So it's important for you to have your company name on there, and maybe even the visual, a product photo or your logo or something to attract their attention. The kit would include the press releases about your new products, a catalog sheet of any photos, or a link to where you can get photos, and also your contact information. And I want to encourage you, make sure you have the company name on it. Sometimes the agency will have the information inside, and they just have their name on it. They don't have the company, and then we have to try and scramble to determine who the exhibiting company is. If you don't know how to put together a press kit, if you're a small company and you don't have a PR person or a PR agency, in the marketing kit, I do have a tip sheet on how to put together a press kit, so you can read through that. And if you have any questions, please contact me. You can do either a folder, a CD, or a thumb drive. We do have capabilities, to accommodate all those types of media for putting out the kit. Then after the show, we will ship the press kits back to the editors' offices. We provide them with boxes, and they can pack up the press kits, and then after the show, we ship them back to their offices free of charge, which is a really nice service. So we're just trying to ensure that the information gets in their hands. So now you say, Deb, I want to do it. I want to do a press kit. But I don't know how to write a press release. I'm a small company. It's just me. I don't have an in-house PR person. I don't have a PR agency. So we are offering a service called the Virtual Press Release Writer. Again, this is a paid service, unfortunately, but it's a great one because it'll just take you a few minutes to answer the online form with about 35 questions about, like, what's your booth number, your company name, what is the product, describe some features about the product, and basic information that you can answer. And then it kind of all merges into a press release, and within 48 hours you will receive a Microsoft Word document that you own, and you can use however you wish. You can print it on your letterhead as a paper press release. You can post it on your website. You can include it in the online press kit. You can put it on a CD or a thumb drive if you're doing a kit as that way. And it's only $75 per release. It's done by a third-party vendor who I know is a very good writer, and she has a lot of experience doing this for exhibitors for various shows. So, this is a service that you have no excuse for saying, I can't do a press release.
Debbie, that's a great price.
It is. $75. I mean, for $150, you could have a press kit with, 2 releases and then just get a folder. Also on the website, I have a sample press release format that you can follow if you want to try to write your own, and that's up on the Marketing Kit website as well. Now I want to take a few minutes just to talk about news media registration and, who we allow as news media. The media have a blue badge. They have a blue stripe on their badge, and we classify the media into 3 different categories. They'll say news media is your traditional print and broadcast, newspapers, magazines, TV stations, radio, anybody that you would, think of traditional, that's news media. Internet media are news websites and internet-based publications. It could be the editor for Good Housekeeping's website. She may have an internet media badge. And then we have bloggers. And the bloggers are your mommy bloggers, foodie bloggers, the YouTube influencers, anyone in that new realm of social media. And so this is how we classify the badges. And we feel that publicity is free. If someone is wearing a badge and asks you to pay for coverage, let us know about it because that's not right. We try and vet the media as registrations as close as possible to ensure that, salespeople are not getting media badges, but sometimes people will lie or misrepresent themselves to me. It's happened a few times over the years.
Shocked.
Shocked, I say, yeah. And then I have to confiscate their badge. But it's, as I said, if somebody comes to the booth and they ask you they try to sell you advertising, or they ask you to sponsor or pay for a TV program, they're not news media, but they would be one of our trade guest classifications. And we will make sure that they are changed for future shows. And then also after the show, if you see somebody on the media registration list that came to your booth and tried to sell you something, please let me know, and I'll remove them from the list and then make a note for next year that they would not be news media. If you don't work with a PR agency and you are interested in working with an agency, I do have a list of agencies that I have worked with over the years and that have housewares clients. It's a pretty substantial list, and I've known most of the people for my long career in housewares. So, and I can highly recommend them. I wouldn't put them on the list if I couldn't. So if you're interested in seeing that list, let me know, and I'm happy to send it to you, happy to talk to you about who's on there. I think we have a variety of agencies to meet your needs. It's a mix of small entrepreneur-type people and larger agencies. And I think you can find something for any budget there. Then after the show, you'll get the 2015 show media list of when the buyer list is available, as Perry mentioned, I think about 6 weeks after the show. And we encourage you to use this to follow up with the media who attended the show. Now, with 2,100 exhibitors, they're not going to get around to everybody. So please look through the list and say, hey, I didn't see an editor from Good Housekeeping, or I didn't see the Tribune reporter, and make sure to follow up with them and send them your information. And then also use this list as your year-round pitching list. We also encourage you to update your Housewares Connect listing throughout the year. When media call me, that's where I will send them to search for new products. So be sure to keep that updated. And then, as I mentioned, in June, we will be having our Housewares for the Holidays event. That event is limited to 40 IHA member companies. The email will go out probably in early April. We don't have a date for it yet, but it should be sometime in June. So if you're looking to have another touch with the media, I would encourage you to sign up for that.
Thanks, Deb. Just a few more things. I know we've kept you quite a long time, but just a couple more things we want to talk to you about. Nancy, you want to say a few things about Inspired Home?
Yeah, if you're not already aware about the new Inspired Home platform, we really, really encourage you as member exhibiting companies to take advantage of Inspired Home. Inspired Home is our new consumer platform. It's magazine-like in its presentation with editorial features and ways to use seasonal product and housewares products, including recipes, etc. You may have already been contacted to submit product for editorial. There's a whole submission calendar that you can send your products to. But I encourage you to check it out. I definitely encourage you to make sure you populate your portal page. Unfortunately, the HC 365 information does not transfer to Inspired Home, but in the Inspired Home platform is a little different. You want to have a consumer contact on there or your website in which you can get consumers to your brand and product out in the marketplace. There actually is already a webinar on site that you can listen to and watch on how to populate, but there's also, if you've got questions, it'll take you to wherever you need to go. This year, as in many years, we've always done this. We've always had what we used to call a soft close at the show, but the retailers came back to us and exhibitors, and nobody really understood what that meant. So we've changed the language to now reflect the Power Hour. That will go Saturday through Monday during the show. It's a soft close again from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Once 6:30 hits, the music will go on, the lights will go off. It's time to exit the show floor. But you really have an extension at the end of the day for 1 hour to continue your buyer meetings or set up buyer meetings that maybe you're having difficulty getting in the morning or during the day.
And we are going to pitch this to the retail community very strongly. They have asked for additional time. They continue to ask for additional time at the show. This is an opportunity for us to give them another hour. We're going to tell them to make an appointment. They're not going to be free-ranging through the show at that time, but we're going to promote that to them. Yet to happen, but we want you to know about it. IHA is going to launch in the next week or two a tool that you can use called Rep Connect. Rep Connect will be a searchable database of all manufacturers' representatives from the U.S. who registered for the 2014 show. We will update it with 2015 registrations as we can. Gives you a chance to find out where these reps are, who they call on, what kind of products they represent, and gives you, if you're looking for reps, an opportunity to find additional reps based on your needs. You'll see an email about that probably in the next 10 days or so. It'll be sourced on our website. Another exciting event that will be happening at the show, some of you may know Kevin Harrington from his days at Shark Tank. Kevin is bringing his team to the show with an operation called the Big Pitch, and what he's going to do is ask exhibitors to submit to him and his team products that they believe are unique, and he and his team are going to take those submissions. There's a small charge for this. They're going to take those submissions and they are going to do a Shark Tank style meeting the day before the show, meet with each one of those suppliers that they pick out. Then they're going to go back on the show floor with TV cameras, and they're going to create a cable television program based on what they find at the show. For the small price, if you're lucky enough to be selected, this is a great opportunity to get your product in front of experts and then perhaps in front of a number of consumers. One more note, I know you just can't wait for this one. Daylight Savings Time begins Sunday morning at the show, so just remember as you're staying out late on Saturday night that you might have to get up a little earlier on Sunday morning. And one last piece of breaking news, and this just happened this morning. We confirmed with Canadian Tire, which is a very large Canadian retailer, that they're going to be doing a new product discovery event at the show, Friday for certain, possibly Thursday. They are going to, along with us, going to create a solicitation tool for them. We are going to, when we have the details, we'll put it in the marketing kit on the website. What they're going to do is a very similar thing. They're going to bring their merchants, actually three groups of merchants based on their responsibility, and those merchants are going to interview suppliers before the show. It's their chance to find people they're not doing business with. It is an excellent chance for you, if you are selected by Canadian Tire, to be a part of this. We do not have the sign-up link yet, but I've twisted Stephanie Bolton's arm today to allow us to use her email address to give to you so that you can reach out to her and say, we heard on IHA's webinar today that you're going to be doing an event at the show, and we'd like to be a part of it. So contact Stephanie. Let her know that you are interested, and she will, I'm certain, either reach out to you or give you the information for the sign-up page when it's available. Sorry to keep you so long. I hope that was meaningful information. Any other questions?
Perry, can you give a couple of examples of what a specialty retailer is?
I would say that, although that definition does very broadly, I would say it's an independent kitchen store, it's an independent gift store. It's generally a store that has one or maybe a small number of destinations, but that carries product that are not necessarily completely in the mass realm.
And Debbie, are media members using the online press kits, and do you have any numbers of downloads or anything like that?
I've been told that they use it. According to Virtual Press Office, other shows are very successful with it, and they do go there. And I think, for agencies to be asking me if where they can upload their online press kit, they've had experience with it at other shows and others. So no, I don't have any numbers, but we'll see how it goes. I think that they will. We'll be promoting it to the media and letting them know that they can go there to find the information.
Is there a price to submit for the big pitch?
There is, and I think, I don't have it right in front of me, but I think it's either $300 or $350.
Is Housewares Connect 365 available to those participating in the Inventors Corner?
Yes.
Okay, and again, this webinar has been recorded and will be available on our website.
You took the words out of my mouth. Debbie, thank you again, everyone, for being here. These are us again. If you have questions, phone, email. I didn't put the fax number up, but you can fax us too. We'd be happy to answer them. We hope you have a great and successful show. The marketing kit should be in your mailbox in a couple of days, but it's available on our website right now at housewares.org/marketing. Have a great show, and we'll look forward to hearing from you between now and the show. Thank you.